Since 2003, the Henderson County Education Foundation has inducted over 130 individuals into the Education Hall of Fame. This year, we will add 3 new inductees: Mrs. Nancy Edwards, Mr. Marv Larson, and Mr. Wayne Morgan. From myself and the Henderson County Education Foundation Board of Directors, congratulations to our 2021 Hall of Fame inductees.
On behalf of the Henderson County Board of Public Education and the entire Henderson County Public Schools family, I want to say congratulations. It is truly rare air to be inducted into the Henderson County Education Hall of Fame. We salute you, we celebrate you, and we honor you. And we look forward to adding you to a wall of first-class educators who have served in this community, serving students, school communities, and the greater Henderson County family for years and generations in the past and generations to come. Congratulations. We're proud of you, we celebrate you, and we hope that you enjoy this honor with your loved ones.
My name is Nancy Edwards. I have been in education for 35 years. 31 of those years was in Henderson County. I was at 3 high schools. I started out at Hendersonville High School. I stayed there 11 years, then went to Edneyville, stayed there 11 years, and then went to North when it opened up and was there 9 years before I retired. When I first graduated from college, I did not have a teacher's degree. I majored in U.S. history and research, and I worked for a magazine for 2 years, got tired of living out of a suitcase, and then decided to go back and get my teacher's degree. Teachers were in my family. I had 2 brothers that were in education and several aunts and uncles. I ended up with a double major when I went back to get my teacher's degree. So I taught at Hendersonville High School. I taught world history, 9th grade English, and sociology and economics. At Edneyville, I taught 10th grade English and 12th grade English. And then at North Henderson, I taught 12th grade English. I think one reason I stayed in education as long as I did, I thoroughly enjoyed teaching. I liked the camaraderie I had with the students, and that's the main reasons I stayed as long as I did. One of the greatest pleasures of being a teacher is seeing your students after they've grown up. They go into business for themselves, they take over family businesses, they start their own business. You have students that were doctors, that are doctors now, that are lawyers now, and to think that you may have had a little part in putting them where they are today makes you feel good as a teacher. When I taught at Hendersonville High School, I was very fortunate to teach in the same department with Christine Croft and Chicora Westmoreland, and both of those teachers are in the Hall of Fame right now. And they had a great influence on me. They expected excellence from their students as well as the people they taught with. So you had to come up to their standards very quickly, or they let you know about it. I can truly say that all the way through my teaching career that I taught with good teachers. This week I looked back over who had been selected into the Hall of Fame. And when I saw people like Christine Croft and Chicora Westmoreland, and to realize that I was being moved into a group with people like that, it really meant a lot to me. I feel that it is really an honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I'm Barbara Case Blaine, a native of Henderson County. I served as assistant to the school board and superintendent for 20 years and with the school system for 28 years.
My name is Dr. Don Jones. I was with the foundation 14 years as executive director.
I was very honored to know Marv Larson as a friend and as a teacher. Marv taught me he best taught me the importance of volunteering and to be active in the community, and particularly to remain so in my retirement years. There are so many contributions that Marv Larson made to our school system. He was involved in many projects sponsored by the Kiwanians, but one in particular had to do with being a math tutor. Marv graduated from the Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago, Illinois, and became a chemical engineer. He loved math, but he would go out into our elementary schools and help those children that just needed some extra help to understand challenging math problems and to help them figure out the solutions to those problems. Another he was involved in, was the countywide elementary spelling bee. Marv delighted in coming into my office with a list of these very challenging elementary, well, I shouldn't say they were elementary. They were for elementary children to spell, and they were very challenging words that most adults, including me, could not even pronounce. But he was thrilled when they excelled at doing that. So he was a math tutor. He was involved in the spelling bee. But I think the program that was nearest and dearest to his heart was Terrific Kids.
The Terrific Kids program started over in Black Mountain, and the year I was president of Kiwanis, 1987, 88, I went to a district meeting, and they wanted somebody to start Terrific Kids in their club. Marv's name kind of came up in my mind, and he started that in 87, and he did it till he died in 2014. So service was really big too. I've been in the Kiwanis a long time myself. Very few people stay with a project. When they get in a project, they'll do it for 2 or 3 years, and then they want another project. Well, Marvin got the Terrific Kids was his project, and he did it 27 years. So when you do a project 27 years, you got to be interested and like it.
Marv traveled thousands of miles to our elementary schools and delivered and/or awarded certificates and other special items to children who worked so hard to do their best, to the best of their ability, and to develop good leadership skills.
I think Marvin ought to be in the Hall of Fame because he's probably the best volunteer this county's ever had. He was recognized by the county, he was recognized by the TV station, but above all, he was recognized by the school system.
I believe that Marv Larson deserves to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, not only for what he did, but the legacy that he left for all of us to continue. Of the 100+ inductees already in the Hall of Fame, and I was privileged to know many of them before they passed, and know those who still remain with us, thank goodness. And all of them deserved that prestigious honor. And I sincerely believe that Marv Larson deserves to be counted among those so honored. Marv Larson was a gift to this community, and he will always remain a gift to me as long as I live.
I really didn't know what I wanted to do when I went to school. To be very honest, when I had to declare a major, I declared PE because I thought it was going to be easy, but it wasn't. when I got into the kinesiology and the exercise physiology and all that kind of stuff, I really enjoyed that stuff. So it just kind of became a passion, and it just kind of evolved that you moved on from that point. 28 years at one job. Well, when I started, of course, back then, that was in the early 70s. So back then, you taught, you coached. I mean, it was 3 sports or you didn't coach and that kind of stuff. So I started out coaching a girls basketball team at the middle school where I was at, and did football and did baseball. That's where I kind of started coaching. I came to East Henderson in the mid-70s, and basically got my job because of Title IX. I came in and I had done my student teaching there, so Mr. Reese was the principal and was now associate superintendent, so we had a rapport there. Coach Hamilton was actually, and Dr. Ledbetter were the people who actually hired me there to start girls sports programs at East Henderson. My first day of teaching, I had like 55 students, boys and girls, in an 8th grade PE class. And being the brand new teacher at the school, I was sitting there, reading them the riot act, pointing the finger at them, all the good stuff, what was going to happen and how I was in charge, and how it was going to be that year when a little 8th grade girl in the front row passed out and went on the floor on a grand mal seizure. Being the big macho studly new PE teacher there, I sat there and like, and my one of the students finally said, "Hey, you want me to go get so-and-so teacher?" I was like, so that was my introduction to teaching. And then late in my career, fortunate enough to start an outdoor ed class. As far as I know, and doing kind of research and talking to people around the state, that was the only outdoor ed class in a public school in high schools in North Carolina, as far as I know. So we did rock climbing, team building. We culminated that session with a trip to Pisgah, went to Looking Glass and did some top rope climbing on Looking Glass. And I guess kind of one of the highlights, we'd go over to what we call Graffiti Rock, which is right off the highway up there, and on Sunday, and invited the parents to come out, bring a picnic lunch and come out and see what the kids were doing. And we offered the parents the opportunity to rappel with their kids, belaying them and as their safety. Didn't have many takers from the parents. But we also did backpacking. We did a trip 15 to 20 miles on the weekend through the forest. We did an orienteering trip, basically put the kids out with a map and compass, and they had to find camp out in the Pisgah forest. Never lost anybody. What did outdoor experience offer the kids? Golly, self-confidence. I mean, you carry your pack for 15, 20 miles and sit down and prepare your meal and set up your shelter and do all those kinds of things. The self-confidence, the self-reliance, survival. How do you get along? Maybe if you don't have everything you need. And then just that peer interaction, just that have the opportunity to sit around a campfire. So Dr. Walker and Coach Hart at Mars Hill were big influencers. It wasn't a PE class, it was a physical education class. Did my student teaching at East Henderson, Tommy Williams, Louise Whitmire. I know Louise was inducted several years back. And Tommy and Louise continued to stay at East for most of the time that I was there as well. So they always had their thumb on me and were taking care of me and looking after me. Of course, my wife Luann. My wife Luann was a PE teacher, elementary PE teacher in Henderson County, and coaching 3 sports and having 2 young kids and all that kind of stuff. And tremendous PE teacher. There's a award I believe the Kiwanis Club does annually that is a memorial to her. I went back the other night and looked at some of the videos from the previous inductees and just some of the great names I knew from Henderson County and what's going on. It's just such an honor to be inducted into the Henderson County Education Foundation Hall of Fame. Just wow.